Years ago, I went on a friend's trip and I knew everybody within the group. Person that invited me, I told him, I said, the only thing I want to make sure that we understand is that everyone has their own money.
The crazy thing is though, before we leave, pulled me to the side and was like, can I talk to you right quick? This looks at me eyes and says, I'm gonna be honest with you, I spent the last of my unemployment check. He's selling this ticket to come out here and be with you.
Couldn't afford the hotel anymore, so I was like, we'll just go to the airport, and we literally slept on the floor, broke.
Now on this channel, we've talked a lot about going on vacation while you're in debt, but one thing we haven't really discussed is going on a group trip when you're broke. Oh yeah, people are doing it. Don't believe me? Well, explain this.
When that trip finally leaves the group chat, greatest in the world, until that but no money wants to come. Me and the homies been planning this trip to Bali for years. I ain't talking about months, I'm talking about years. And it finally left the group chat because I decided to be a leader and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna buy my ticket and hopefully these follow me. We chose Bali because once you get to Bali, you're rich as fuck. Like, nope, like, bro, the currency, bro, America up. The currency from USD to Indonesian dollars, we're kings out there, man. We're kings. So $6 out here is pretty much $100,000, 100,000 Indonesian dollars out there. That can get you a good amount of things, you feel me? So if my ticket was $750, I'm not expecting to pay more than $300 out there. You feel me? Like, I don't really need too much. I'm bringing the clothes, I'm bringing the drip. I don't need too much out there. So look though, just like I said was gonna happen, as soon as I bought my ticket, I said in the group message, I'm like, I bought my ticket, I'm going with or without y'all. Bro, the same day, Jay bought his ticket, Eric bought his ticket, Blake bought his ticket, but we all know in the group chat, Blake don't got it like that. You feel me? If we have some fucking problems in Bali, it's on Blake. It's on Blake. But look, I'm a grown man, they're grown men. We'll deal with it when we get there, okay? My main focus is having a great time. I have all the time off work, you feel me? I told nobody to text me out there. I told all the shorties I'm talking, don't talk to me. I'm in Bali. I'm with the Balinese right now. You feel me? I'm with the Balinese. So the time of the trip comes, right? I got everything packed. I got hella drip. You feel me? I'm so excited to slide. You feel me? So I'm so excited. I get to LAX 3 hours early. You know what I'm saying? I'm never early before flights. I'm always running late. But you know what? I just wanted to sit there, get my little matcha. You feel me? Vibe out. When I go get my matcha, Blake already there. While we're waiting for the other homies to pull up, you feel me? I'm getting my matcha, right? And I see Blake drinking the water. I'm like, bro, Blake never drinks water. He's always drinking coffee or something in the morning. You know what I'm saying? Especially like at a coffee shop. You feel me? He's always drinking coffee. I'm like, yo, like, you good? Like, why you drinking some water right now? He said, hey, bro, I can't really afford no coffee right now.
This already, and there's nothing wrong with drinking water. You know, I keeps me some H2O. But he said he was gonna worry about everything when they get there because they'll be able to figure it out. But y'all already had the temperature on Mr. Blake. And it kind of seemed like they already know what might happen bringing Mr. Blake with them, but you know, maybe they wanted to ask him, did he want to come just to see could he work something out? Because a lot of the times, you know, if your friends can or can't do stuff because you're friends. Like maybe y'all had other sort of conversations about how maybe times are hard or they're struggling to get by, and then you want to go to Bali, which is nothing wrong with that. But you know, maybe Blake didn't want to feel left out of the friend group, so he just trying to make a way to go. But you know, a lot of people's way to go is debt. It is.
I'm like, can't afford coffee. Your ticket was $750. Actually, $767 with tax. What the fuck are you talking about? You can't afford coffee. So you're about to go to, you know what? I'm gonna get there.
And just because he was able to quote unquote afford the ticket doesn't mean that he had the money for the ticket. Like, people use credit cards all the time to buy flights. All the time. I know people who did that and they ain't paid it back yet. They ain't paid it back yet from last year. It happens. That don't mean that they could afford it. That means they just wanted to go and they gonna find a way. And that's why on social media, y'all gotta stop thinking whenever you see somebody do something that they can afford it. Because you honestly don't know. They might be able to afford it, or it could be debt. Maybe it's Maybelline, maybe it's Detaline. I don't, you know?
Crazy, I'm still wondering how he got the bread for the trip because he hasn't had a job in 3 years. And you know, that's not, bro, like, life happens.
Sir, Mr. Blake has been unemployed for 3 years, no job. And you're wondering where he got the money? It's only a few options I can think of, and none of them ain't sounding positive. None of them. But y'all knew. And see, this is what I mean. Your friends be knowing. Y'all should have just told him, Blake, like, it's okay. We can all do something together here. We just gonna, like, only come if it makes sense for you. Do what's best for you, Blake. But we still cool. We still friends. Cool. You ain't had a job in 3 years. Life gets rough. Got it. But this is what I mean. They knew already.
You know what I'm saying? Life is real. okay? Like, you know, people go through. So I'm like, you know, no, it don't matter. You on the trip with us. You feel me? We're gonna have a great time. You with the gang, all right? You can't. I got you with the coffee. What kind of coffee you want? He said, let me get a caramel macchiato. Okay, fancy. Caramel macchiato it is. How many shots of espresso you want? I get him the macchiato. You feel me? He said he wants 3 shots of espresso. Insane. We're about to be on a 16-hour flight. Why the do you want to be awake? Crazy. Anyway, it doesn't matter. The other homies pull up. I'm like, what's up, Jay? What's up, Eric? We good? Boom, boom, boom. We low-key all got matching like airport fits. Like the vibes is immaculate right now. I'm happy as right now. You feel me? No drama, no nothing. Let's have a good time on this trip. Let's get on this 16-hour flight and let's vibe. If y'all never flew that far out the country, let me put you on game. You get 3 meals for the flight, because 16 hours is pretty much full day because you sleep for 8 hours of the day. So 16 hours, they give you 3 meals. You feel me? You get breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That's completely part of the ticket. That's why the tickets cost so much. Breakfast comes around. I'm like, mind you, we're all sitting relatively in the same row. You feel me? I think the homie Eric's in front of us, but we're all sitting in the same row, right? The guy comes with the food. He's like, okay, what you want? Do you want eggs or do you want some English muffin? Some shit like that, right? So the food comes and they give you an option if you want to pay extra for like mimosas, wine, you know, like orange juice. I'm like, nah, I want some water. Water, cool. You know what I'm saying? The homie wanted some water. Then the homie Eric, I think he got like some wine because you feel me? Eric got it like that. Eric got money, you feel me? And then Blake, guess what? This orders a bottle of wine. It's not what you think though. The bottle's not a full bottle you get like at a restaurant. It's like the little travel bottles. You feel me? The little portable. I don't know what to call them. They pour, but you pour them in the little cup. You pour them in a cup. You feel me? Or you can drink it out the thing, right? Orders a bottle. Wine is $27. Okay, I'm paying for this. Is this the same that said he can't afford coffee?
I'm just confused. So I thought he said they was going to go have fun. Pick a side. Y'all turning up. Now everybody wanna, as soon as he drinking some wine, who paying for that? Who's paying for the ticket? Did anybody think to ask? Blake, how was you here right now with no job, actually? Blake, is everything good with you? You knew he ain't have it like that when he was getting the coffee. Why is everybody acting shocked? I thought y'all was turned. I thought y'all was trying to have a good time. And I agree, like, you shouldn't be spending what you don't have, but my whole thing is they already knew from what it seems like that he didn't have it. So the drinks is where everybody drawing the line, not the $700 plus plane ticket and then him getting over to Bali to spend more money. What?
I'm thinking like he said he can't afford coffee because he's like, he's saving up his money for the trip. So when we get out there, he got money for the trip.
Y'all thought a person who didn't work in 3 years was just saving for the trip. How did he save for the flight? Like, we getting at the low-hanging fruit, I fear, with this conversation. And I'm like, it's starting to irk me a little because forget the coffee. What about the flight? If I knew somebody who hadn't worked in 3 years and they're catching a flight to Bali with the rest of the crew who allegedly got it, like, okay, that's cool. Nobody questioned how he was getting this flight with what is currently going on in the world, how most Americans don't even have emergency fund money. In Mr. Blake's case, unfortunately, he didn't even have a job, which honestly, a lot of people don't have a job or struggling to find a job. So it's not even about shaming him for not having a job or not being able to find a job, whatever his circumstances is. What's baffling me is now everybody acting shocked. Now, you can't really get mad at the broke friend that you know is coming on the trip broke and be like, well, you broke. Y'all knew he ain't worked in 3 years. I don't even want to hear like the complaints. Let Blake do his thing at this point. Y'all turn the blind eye to the $700 plane ticket to Bali and you draw the line at the coffee or the wine or whatever he was drinking.
Sitting on the left of Blake, this looks to me to my left. He looks to his left. He said, hey, bro, can you spot me for this, bro? I'm trying to vibe out for the flight. All right, my parents raised a good man. I'm gonna look out for my boy, and I'm not gonna embarrass him in front of all these foreign people on this plane right now. Mind you, I don't want to attract no attention. So I'm like, you know what? I got you, bro. Don't even trip. It ain't nothing. Let me remind you. I said I wanted to spend $300 to $350 for the trip, right? That wasn't including in the US. That includes, after I bought the tickets, $300 for inside of Bali. $300. You're eating at my budget. I don't have it like that, brother. I don't have it like that. All right, so boom, 16-hour flight done. You feel me? I'm not really thinking about the bread at this point. We land in our layover. Our layover's in Hong Kong, right? The homie Eric is an American Express member, so we go to the American Express lounge in Hong Kong. You can only bring it's only you for free, but you got to pay $50 for all the guests. So Eric, cool as man. I didn't ask for this. He pays $50 for all of us to get in the American Express line. So we all in the Amex lounge eating free food, everything good. I'm not really thinking about nothing negative. So, you know, you feel me? Like, we're all good. So we get on the flight from Hong Kong to Bali, about a 3.5, 4-hour flight. I don't remember. It wasn't that long though, right? We get there. I'm like, bro, like, I'm in the best mood possible. Nothing can break my mood. Nothing can break my mood. Nothing can break my mood. Something breaks my fucking mood. From Hong Kong to Bali, it was about a 3.5, 4-hour flight. It was fantastic. It wasn't that long. I don't remember actually how long it was, but it wasn't that long. You feel me? So when we land, like I said, Eric is an Amex member, so he gets like hella deals on like nice villas and stays and whatever. We get a nice villa after, you know, we meet our nice taxi driver. Cool as bro. The Indonesian, Balinese people, I'm sorry if I'm saying the wrong, like, you know, thing or whatever, but you guys are so nice. Nice people in the world. It was crazy. Didn't even want to tip. It was crazy. So we get there anyways. We get to the villa. Mind you, we've been traveling for a whole day. It's daytime. It's daytime. So Eric and Jay was like, hey, y'all trying to go out? Like, you feel me? Like, I'm wide awake. I slept the whole time. I'm like, hey, yeah, let's step. You feel me? Let's do it. I was doing some scrolling on TikTok and I found, like, you feel me, a day party that's like super big in Bali. So I was like, that's only like 5 minutes from us. Let's slide. Put on something smooth. You feel me? Let's go bag some Bali. The crazy thing is though, before we leave, Blake pulled me to the side and was like, hey, Rob, can I talk to you right quick? He low-key sounded serious. We was in it at Bali. I don't want no serious, I don't want no serious shit going on. Feel me? Like, what you want to talk to me about? This looks at me eyes and says, I'm gonna be honest with you. I spent the last of my unemployment check. He's telling his ticket to come out here and be with y'all. Can you like spot me for the rest of the trip? Says it in that exact tone. But the tone in my head was furious.
You see what happens when you don't ask your friends the right the right questions. So he was allegedly getting an unemployment check. You can get unemployment for, I don't know how long he was getting it. Anyway, he ain't had a job in 3 years. He ain't got no money. That's why I said it's either a credit card or it's something else, because where is the money? See, when we get down to the root of it, it was an unemployment check. What if Mr. Blake don't have a credit card though? Hypothetically, say you go to another country with your friends, you're unemployed, you got your unemployment check, you use the check to go to Bali with your friends, because everybody knows that you're unemployed, out of shop. You get over there, you ain't got no credit card. What you gonna do? What would you do? You got like 5 of your closest friends with you, and one of them got it like that, allegedly. He said it wasn't him, but somebody else do. This sort of situation, whether some people have a credit card or not, do you know they do that to their friends? Like, they'll go on a trip knowing that they don't have any money, but they know all of y'all got something, and typically there's one person out of the friend group that everybody's like, oh, they're balling. He even said so-and-so, he got it, like he good. He might just be closer to him than the other guy. Who knows? But have y'all ever been in that situation? And the thing about it is y'all are friends, so you don't want to be like messed up and not help your friend out in a foreign country that you know didn't have a job for the last 3 years and nobody questioned anything before that, even though everyone knew that he didn't have a job in the last 3 years. What do you do? I'll tell you what most people are gonna do. They're probably gonna be annoyed, but they're gonna be like, you know what? I got you. Pay me back when we get back. Do they always get their money back? Time will tell. Time will tell. Can't confirm nor deny. I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying there were signs, and I'm not shocked.
I'm like, Blake, your parents are good people. They've been married your whole life. You have such good direction. Who the really raised you? Who in their right mind spends the last of their unemployment money on a trip you can't afford? Why the are you here? Why are you not back in California looking for a job?
He said he put this in the group chat, right? Like, what, is Blake in the group chat? Sir, I feel you may be part of the reason why Mr. Blake is there, because you knew. Didn't you? Y'all are friends. You didn't know? Allegedly. I don't know.
Even though I'm mad as right now, I can see the pain in his eyes, and I know how much fun he wants to have with the homies without it being a burden. You feel me? So I'm like, you know what? Here, I'm gonna give you $400 from this stash. Don't ask me for shit else for this trip. Don't ask me for else for this trip. If you ask me for something again, I'm gonna beat the out you. He gives me the most brotherly love hug I've ever felt in my life. I'm like, you know what? You really, but I whisper in his ear on no such. When you get back home to Cali, get a job. If you don't get a job, don't talk to me, because I don't hang around with bums, gang. Overall, it was a great trip, but don't go on trips if you're broke.
Now, I'm not going to say that Mr. Blake is a quote-unquote bum, because he said he don't hang around bums. And he said, again, he don't hang around bums, but you do hang around people who are unemployed that will go on a trip to Bali with you. So you can call that whatever you want to call it. And I might have to call y'all blind because I'm trying to understand why everybody is shocked. I'm not I'm not shocked at it, not even a little bit. And then he said why are you here? Because he was in the group chat. Why is everybody acting shocked? And then people in the comments talking about, okay, but why are you in Bali with no job? And I can understand where everybody's coming from, but they already knew. They knew. Somebody commented, if you got friends that genuinely love you, yeah, but if you lonely, no. See, that's what I mean. He knows he has friends that are going to look out for him, so he's going to go to Bali broke. Some of y'all going to go to Bali or wherever you're going to go broke regardless, just off the vibes and the YOLO mentality. But Blake, you see, he was strategic to an extent. He said, you know what? All of my friends know that I'm unemployed. Like, it's no secret that I have no job for the last 3 years. They put it in the group chat. I was invited, allegedly, I don't know. They must want me to come. They know my situation. They're my friends. They're gonna look out for me. These are my brothers. We're gonna get turned. That's what people be thinking. How about this? Don't ask people who you know ain't got no business out there. Others saying no job in 3 years and he's going to Bali. Others saying Blake should have did a little DoorDash or something. And then y'all talk about Blake would have been selling it in Lord have mercy. Absolutely not. Y'all ain't right. And this comment says, not the Bali's boys trip turning into a girls Miami trip. They said, this is Blake every time that bill come up, allegedly. Don't do Blake like that. They said, Blake watching this knowing he will never pay you. They said, this is the one getting me. This is allegedly Blake and Bali. And you know what? I feel like y'all really got to start assessing the full picture before y'all start asking people. And no, he was wrong. He was not right for going to Bali broke, but I just can't get past all of them knowing this and still because on all these group trips, there's always like one person, right? And that's why they're even making this joke about it being a Miami girls trip, because typically there's always that there's one person that comes there, they can't afford nothing and they're looking at everybody else. And it works for them too. It really does. I'm not saying Blake did it on purpose, but it be working.
Time about when I went to Mexico completely broke and I slept on the ground. So I was about 20 and it was spring break and I was like, I'm gonna go to Cancun. Did I have Cancun money? No, I did not, but I had enough to buy my airplane ticket and I also bought a ticket for my freeloading ex. So I didn't book a hotel or anything. I literally went there with hopes and dreams and that was it. In my brain, I was like, everything is cheaper in Mexico, so I should be able to pay for a hotel in cash and it'll be cheaper. And I was kind of onto something and you'll see why. So I get there, right? I obviously don't speak Spanish. Highly recommend you learn somewhat of a language when you travel somewhere else because I was super lost and I could not communicate with anybody. Now, if I was in a more touristy part like Cancun, which is where I planned to go, then I probably would be able to communicate, but we actually ended up in some completely random town. I can't even remember what it was called. We ended up leaving the airport by like one of those little shuttle buses, but this one had no windows and everybody was super cramped. It was very tiny and they dropped us off in the middle of nowhere. It was actually probably one of the sketchiest towns they could have dropped us off in, but it was fine. So here I am basically by myself because my ex was useless in a town in Mexico, super late at night with all my luggage, just by ourselves. No hotel, have no idea where I am, can't speak Spanish. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go to a car dealership and we're going to rent a car and we're just going to sleep in that the time that we're here because we can also use it to go where we need to go. So we find a little car dealership in that town. We go in. Obviously the man that runs it doesn't speak English, but he had a little boy in there that did. He was translating everything for us. So the man in the car dealership is like, I actually have a hookup for a hotel. I was like, oh, that's how you get down around here. We got hookups. Okay, let's go. I get in the back of his truck, like in the bed of his truck, and he takes us to a place where I can exchange my money. I was extremely unprepared, okay? I had my card. I had to go to a place where I could take my money out. I need to go to a place where they could exchange my currency, so he did that for me. And then he took us to this random hotel. Was it the nicest hotel? No, but it actually wasn't that bad. I mean, there was peacocks roaming everywhere. It was open. There was like a pool. It was pretty nice. So he goes up to the lady at the front desk. He starts whispering. They give him the key. I give him the money. I don't know what type of deal they had going on. So then he shows us to our room. Once we get to our room, I think that's going to be the end of our time together. I was like, thank you so much. He comes into the room, he sits on the bed, and he stares at us.
Now, this is weird. Ma'am, you said he was in his truck bed. Why you couldn't give the lady the money? Why did he need to get it? Why is he like the middleman? Like, there's a lot going on. And I understand she said she doesn't speak the language, but all this sounds very sketchy. This sounds like you was about to get caught in traffic, if you know what I mean.
He goes, I have all of these brochures, and mind you, he does not speak English, so this is just like what I got from like hand gestures and us trying to communicate. So he has all these brochures, he's trying to sell us all these things. Man was a hustler, I respect it. So anyways, this is getting super long, but eventually he leaves. We have our time there. Horrible time, by the way. 10 out of 10 would not recommend going with a psycho boyfriend at the time. He's crazy, my ex now obviously, but would not recommend. And I'm the only one paying for everything, by the way. It comes time for us to leave. I couldn't afford the hotel anymore, so I was like, we'll just go to the airport a couple days early, and like for some reason I thought that they would let us in through security and we could be like where all the food is and everything. I thought wrong. They would not let us in. So until it like got, I think they set up until like 4 hours before the flight or something. So we stayed in like the part where you first walk into the airport where everything closes down at like 7 o'clock. And we literally slept on the floor, broke, literally with no money. I had to have my mom send me money for food because I was starving.
Y'all, this is horrible. And I understand people want to go on trips and do all these things, but actually going on a trip broke and then ending up in the airport sleeping on the ground because you ran out of money for a place to stay that you went to travel, knowing that you didn't have money, and then now you're just trying to figure out how to eat in another country and you don't speak the language. This is a lot. And I understand she said she was young, it was spontaneous. Absolutely not.
Now looking back, I'm happy I went just because I was able to experience traveling there. I would recommend being very prepared if you are going to take a trip.
Yeah, you definitely should be prepared. Definitely don't go. If everybody's broke, she said she was the one paying for it and she was broke. So everybody around is just resourceless. That is, oh no.
Years ago, I went on a fringe trip and I knew everybody within the group, men and women included. The person that invited me, I told him, I said, the only thing I want to make sure that we understand is that everyone has their own money. He says, yes, everybody has their own money. We're good. So he starts going down the line of why everyone has their own money. And one of the main points he was pointing out to me was the things that they did for a living, right? I said, okay, cool. We get to the Airbnb not paid for. Someone did not pay their part for the Airbnb. So now we're standing outside. I went to go get a hotel.
How do you not pay your part for the Airbnb? It's like Airbnb is either booked or it's not booked. That's what I'm confused about. Now, and I understand people go on trips and sometimes everybody chips in, but nobody got a booking confirmation and went on a group trip. And I would advise that if you're going to do a group trip and somebody is saying, hey, I'm going to be in charge of booking or whatever, or maybe there is nobody in charge, like that sort of stuff needs to be discussed before you leave. A confirmation should be sent to everybody on the group trip. It shouldn't be you're getting there and figuring out an Airbnb isn't booked. That's just not how Airbnb even works. Like, what? And where did you send your money then? Like, who got it?
I knew what direction this was going. Now, my friend is, why did you do that? You already paid it. That's because I have extra money. See, the thing is, y'all had to wait 3 more hours for that person to have their funds together to get into the Airbnb. I wasn't gonna do that. I called my Lyft and I will meet y'all here every morning. So now I'm coming. I said, time to go to breakfast. Only 4 of us is going to breakfast. It's 10 of us in total. Why ain't the other 6 coming? That's because they have no money. They're budgeting. Then why did you come?
And there's nothing wrong with, I would say this, budgeting on vacation, that's normal. I think a lot of people think, oh, when you go on you shouldn't go on vacation unless you can ball till you fall. There's nothing wrong with going on a vacation on a budget. A budget ain't nothing but limits. And we got to stop getting away from the idea that a budget means that you're broke. That's not what that means. People who have a lot of money budget. It's called financial literacy. It's just having good spending habits. You got to learn how to manage larger sums of money when you have more money. So, and that sort of thing never goes away at any level. When you get more money, you just have to be better with managing it more effectively. which also means budgeting just like you would if you didn't have a lot of money. And granted, some people can go on vacation and just like swipe their cards and not have to think about anything, but many people have to look at the price tag. So to an extent, it's like you have a budget too. You have a limit, because you might not be able to go walk in a watch store and get a watch that costs as much as a house while you're on vacation, because you have limits as well, you know? And there's nothing wrong with that.
Okay, cool. They're trying to get sympathy. Now it's lunch. We're going. Who wants to go to the mall? No one wants to go to the mall? I like to go to the mall, just walk around, especially in a new city, but no one wants to go to the mall because you have no money. This is where it get interesting. We go to the club. There's two different lines. There's a line where you can pay 50 and there's a line where you can pay 20. Now me, I'm trying to get in quickly, see what I'm gonna see. So I said, I'm gonna pay the 50. 4 of us got into the $50 line. The rest of the 6 didn't get into an hour and a half later. The whole trip, they're trying to get sympathy. See, I understand proximity. Because y'all are in the same Airbnb with them, you're able to see their face and you're able to sympathize with their situation. Me, not so much. So I wasn't giving up nothing. The last little interaction I had with this group was we all went out to eat. Now, the restaurant we went out to eat, it was expensive. They had no prices next to the menu option. I said, are y'all sure you guys want to eat here? Yeah, it was already on the itinerary. I said, all right. They get to order. I'm like, wow, you got that? I stand up, I go to the back, and I say, hey, I'm with this party, but I'm gonna sit at the table next to theirs. Now, the way this table was set up, it looked like I was still part of the party, but I wasn't. I said, the reason why I did that is because I wanted my check to be separate. The lady said, okay, cool. It was not part of their party. The check comes out. They're talking about splitting it.
And we already know where this is going. We've had this conversation many times. And this is why I personally don't like the idea of splitting checks. Like, just pay for whatever you ate and cool, if that's what we all agreed upon. But in this situation, he's in a group of people. And sir, are these your friends? Because you looking a little too happy telling this story. But anyway, he's in a group of people that he don't got no sympathy for, as he said. And they don't have any of the resources to comfortably enjoy this trip. Like, it was probably painful to see whatever bill came out, because goodness, you know how it is when you have a menu with no prices.
Then they get on me. Yeah, you have to split it. I said, check the check. None of my items are on that check. I said, did you bring me my check? I said, this is my check here. And I took my happy tail back to my hotel. The interesting part, the people with the money, the 4 others, was a girl whose dude funded the whole trip, 2 dealers, and a lawyer that I know. But everybody else, they were the primary people, a content creator, he was broke.
This is an interesting crowd of individuals. I would just say that. How this group get together? Never mind. That ain't none of my business. I ain't part of the friend group. Now, this is interesting. In the comments, it says, I don't budget while on vacation. I spend money like I'm moving bricks. Y'all, there's nothing wrong with budgeting. There really isn't. And then y'all in the comments talk about exactly. I'll deal with it when I get home. It's not even funny. They said, say that again, because I'm definitely spending like I'm your lieutenant. Other comments saying, I pay extra for convenience and peace of mind. And there's nothing wrong with that. And again, how is the Airbnb not confirmed before we got there? Another comment, I'm glad somebody said it. They're budgeting, ? You're supposed to budget your money before vacation to have extra money on vacation. Other people saying that, look, this is why I don't travel with nobody. And this one is taking me out. This says, my sympathy goes as far as, wow, that's crazy. And just keep going. Another one saying, I'm mad they lied to you. He said, I was pissed. I just think a lot of people want to go on a trip. However, you really got to consider the people you are going on the trip with. Like the first person, he said there was one person out of the group, and they all knew what was up with him, but they overlooked it. The second lady, she's on the trip. Her boyfriend ain't got no money and she ain't got no money. They just out there like YOLO, sleeping in the airport with no money, barely getting food, gotta call somebody for food. And then this last person, he's also with a group of people that don't seem to have the resources for the trip, which honestly isn't too shocking because a lot of people can't afford an emergency. And we're talking about expensive trips, group trips. But I didn't know what y'all think about all this down below. Has this ever happened to you? Do you even do group trips? Do you think group trips are a bad idea? And how do you feel about people who go on group trips with no money? But we gotta start making better decisions today in order to have a better future.